Hello, these are some of my fast start potatoes in the greenhouse, growing in those 10-inch buckets. Two guys here right at the front, both Winston, one set in each pot, one potato in each bucket. When these potatoes were planted, they had roots and they had shoots, and so they've got a fast start, and as you can see, these potatoes are now flowering, so they're only a few weeks off being harvested. These are the rest of my potatoes in the greenhouse. There's one over there, I'm not too sure if you can see it, it's looking a bit limp. That probably has been missed by the watering can, but we'll rectify that before we go out of the greenhouse today. These guys are starting to flower as well, but certainly Winston is the furthest on of all the potatoes. And we're growing Annabelle, we're growing Charlotte, we're growing Jazzy. We've lots of different potatoes in this greenhouse, but these look as though they could be the guys that we harvest first. Now compare these with potatoes that were sown at about the same time and have stood outdoors. They haven't had the benefit of being in a greenhouse. The potatoes I'm going to show you now are potatoes that were planted around about the same time as these potatoes. These guys have been in about 9 weeks now. So the potatoes I'm going to show you now, potatoes that have been in about the same length of time, and contrast the growth difference and see the benefits of having a greenhouse when you get your potatoes away early and the weather's still really a bit too cold for them to be outdoors. Contrast the difference. These potatoes did not have the benefits of a fast start. These potatoes didn't have roots and shoots when they were planted in these buckets. They were simply planted as a seed potato. At the same time as I planted those fast start potatoes you've just looked at in the greenhouse. I've simply stood these up against the garden fence to try and keep them out of the worst of the weather. And this is what we've got to show after all that time. Now what I'm going to do is, before we go back into the greenhouse to finish off this video, I'm going to dovetail in a short section of video shot 8 or 9 weeks ago when those fast starts were planted, and it'll show you one of the potatoes, one of the potato plants being planted. Right, we'll just put 2 inches into the bottom of that. That looks like 2 inches to me. Okay. Right, take our gloves off for this, this could be delicate. We'll pop that there so we can reach it. We'll get this out. Okay, this is the bit I like, just sling this down there. Get out of it! I'll pick it up later, don't worry. There. How good is that? Are you getting that? Can you see that sitting in that pot? I honestly don't know what you're getting, but that's sitting in that pot. Right. Pop bottle protector going on. Ha ha ha! Come on, can you see that? Can you see that? I've no idea. I'm getting more excited. Right. So let me just push that out a bit. Hold it steady. that soil touched any of those leaves. How good is that? Right, shake it in. Nice and gently, does it? How's that? How's that? Are you impressed? I've even impressed myself. I've even impressed myself. Right, so that's a potato planted. I can't remember what variety it is. I'll have to go and check and then put a ticket in. It's still February, it's March in a couple of weeks, so we're still in winter. This guy's going to stand in my garage now for as long as it takes for this potato to break that surface. And once it breaks the surface, then obviously it'll need some light, and I'm hoping to stand these guys in a greenhouse until such times as they're ready to harvest, or they need to be moved out so we can get some tomatoes in, whatever comes first. Okay, let's go back into the greenhouse and wind this up. Okay, well, I'm sure you noticed the difference. You couldn't fail but notice it. The reason these guys are down on the floor in the middle of the greenhouse is because at the sides, just this week, I've got my tomatoes in. So the tomatoes are in the border. These potatoes are now either up on the staging at the back or on the floor. Within a couple of weeks, I expect to be able to move these guys outdoor, and then perhaps a few more weeks after that, we're going to harvest these potatoes. One last question before you go and before I say goodbye. Are you growing potatoes in bags this year, in shopping bags? You are? Have you had a look at them yet? If you've had a look at them, let us know how they're getting on. I think it's probably still a bit early. Be careful when you peel the bag back that the root ball doesn't just fall to pieces, because there aren't enough roots in there to hold it together. But when you take a look, when you have your first look, get back to us. Let us know how those potatoes in shopping bags are coming on. Okay, so this is Homegrown Veg, signing out.